Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another video. So I'm teaching myself microcontrollers via this curriculum called Introduction to Microcontroller Programming using this bit of kit called EBlocks. I believe I'm now on page 77. So I'm going through these programming exercises, 101 pages, and I'm on making decisions, which is basically if statements. And part 5 of that, it says, is to write a program that makes all 8 LEDs on port B. So that is these ones here. So when switch 0 is pressed the first time, they light up and then go off when it's pressed again. Okay. I'm gonna do. I'll just make C copy B because I'd like to just use these other additional modules as well. So alright, let's open a new Flowcode program. What do we want to do? Where am I? File. I'll get my head back into it. And a new, and I don't even know what is this, 17, 18? I'm lost at this point. Takes a bit of time, innit, to just make a new. Oh, look at this. Come on. Thinking about it. There we go. Alright, cool. So we go with a loop, a for loop. Then we're gonna define our inputs, which it's just gonna be one button, isn't it? So we're gonna say that is port B bit, or port A bit 0, and we're going to define that to input B input A0. Cool. Yep, make me a new variable. Yep, I'm right with that. I should have made it a bit, but it doesn't matter. All right, cool. So we've got our input. Now what we're saying is all 8 LEDs. So our output is our LED. So we do an output and we call that port B. I'm going to do the same for port C. Go on, we'll just do port C. Let's see if this works. And we want to write to that. For now, we'll write 255. I think that turns them all on. And then I think what we want to do is we want to say, so just to confirm, we want to say if switch 0 is pressed the first time and go off when it's pressed again. That the first time, that kind of suggests just a once trigger. So yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, that kind of suggests like don't even put a while loop. But anyways, I don't know. So let's put a decision. Let's ignore that first time thing. So if you get A0 high, so if input A0, so that really needs to be a bit and not a byte. So a boolean. So if A0, then turn on all of port C. Okay. And then if again the second time. So again, I know the ugly ways of doing this, and I know that I can think of the correct way of how I'd do it if I was writing in C or if I was writing on a PLC. So how do I do this in Flowcode is a different story. So the thing to do would be to, an easy way out here, cheat way, is to add a calculation and just say if input A0, then trigger is equal to 1. Boolean, make it int. So trigger is equal to 1 if you press the push button, and then it's a case of if that trigger is greater than 1. Again, this is not how I would code. I would expect it to be like a rising edge, a positive triggered edge function available to me. I don't expect to have to write it like this. This is crazy. So if trigger is greater than 1, then and you get the input. So if trigger is greater than 0 and you have input A0, I don't feel like this works well when I double up on conditions inside an if statement, but anyways. So if that's true, then write 0 to port C. Does this work? Again, this is not clean at all. So I have my input. If I press it, then it sets the trigger to 1. So I need the trigger to be set to 0. at the start of each program, really. No, I don't. I need this to be set at the start of the first cycle. The trigger is equal to 0, then if you get my input, set trigger to 1, turn on all the outputs, and then just don't do anything else. If the trigger is greater than 0 and then you press the input again, which it will happen, you will press it again because of the debounce. When I'm pressing that down, I'm going to get debounce. So how do I get rid of the debounce issue now? Obviously, I need a delay, but where? So the delay, I guess after one cycle, like ignore, like, can we just do a decent delay, 250 milliseconds. So I think this will work. I'm going to have to let go of the button within 250 milliseconds. So it looks like it's less than 18, this one. Alright. So we'll download now and see. Again, I'm just not enjoying the fact that they're not giving me nothing to work with there. Write a program that makes all 8 LEDs on port B light when switch 0 is pressed. I could be learning all sorts of bad programming techniques. What I would like to know is there an edge triggered device? Is there an edge triggered function here? There must be. Anyways, so what are we doing? Let's test it now. So what was my code? It was A0, right? So if I press A0 once, it missed it, didn't catch anything, nothing, and then just nothing. So that's not doing anything. But again, I'm not sure I understand how this works. It should just be an array of LEDs. So let me just, at the same time as writing to C, I'm gonna also write to B because I just don't trust that I fully know what's going on with these additional modules. Because again, I've had nothing, no guides or tutorials on how they work. So let's go with that again and just confirm nothing. I don't think these double condition if statements work, to be honest. If the trigger is greater than 0, which it should be, and input is A0, then turn everything off and delay. Oh, is it just in this constant delay? Maybe I need the delay to be part of this statement. Beats me, mate. I don't know. Alright, so nothing there again. Okay. I'm going to put the delay. Again, I don't fully understand. Like, it's called a delay, but is this a microprocessor sleep sort of delay? So whilst that 250 milliseconds is going on, the microcontroller is not seeing any input, and because none of my inputs are interrupts, it's not waking up the microcontroller. Which again is just like, I want to learn about interrupts. Give me interrupts. Oh, I can see an interrupt there actually. There's an interrupt function there. Again, I have no idea. I don't know how that works. Can I right click it, get some help? Can I press F1? Okay, I can press F1. It just tells me about the Project Explorer. Can I search for interrupt? Okay, interrupts. Timer interrupts. Again, I would expect a guide in that tutorial. But anyways, okay, so we'll just leave it for now. If trigger, then wait. I'm not sure what I'm trying to achieve here. So I read my input. If that input's true, then I'll set trigger to 1 and write to my output. Probably need this same delay here. Alright, let's try that. Unfortunately, I don't know what I'm doing, and I've come here to learn, and I'm not learning. And I guess the only argument for why this would be useful would be if you had a teacher, and then I guess you're saying that these curriculum and tasks are like for guidance only, and you the teacher are going to be actually deciding how you want them to program, which seems like a bad idea. But anyways, all right, let's press this. Okay, we've got something different now. So I'm just holding that down there and it's just flashing. So I press it quickly, it does the same, but then it just stops. So I don't know what my trigger value is right now. I'd expect it to be 1. Set my trigger to 1. And if the trigger value is greater than 0. Yeah, I must say I just don't know. Once again, this happens a lot with this. I do not know what to do. And there's no answers at the end of the thing to say. So let me try and do my best to just absolutely bodge this. If you have input 0, then trigger is equal to 1. Okay. And then turn on the LEDs and wait 250 milliseconds. And then, because I still have the input, so let's set this to, I don't know, 1 second. Maybe my 250 milliseconds is just not, it's just too fast. I mean, at this point, I don't even know how fast the microcontroller operates at. I believe it's 300 megahertz, but I don't know. And in my head, I don't intuitively understand what that means. All right, so let's go again. Okay, so it stays on for 1 second. Now, what I'm not clear on is, I've pressed input 0. It set my trigger to 1. They've stayed on for 1 second. Then why have they turned off? Because the trigger is greater than 1, but I don't have my input anymore. I've let go. I've let go of the button. That should just stay on. I don't. So why don't we check first? Let's check first. If the input is greater than 0, then if the trigger is greater than 0, again, I don't think that these double conditions work properly for some reason, or they don't work how I understand them to work. So if I have my input and then I have my trigger which is greater than 0, then turn off the LEDs. Otherwise, set the trigger to 1 and turn them all on. Oh, that might be clean. I think this might work. I'll be proud of myself if this works. But again, how does a 16-year-old come to these conclusions? I feel myself like, I work for Matrix now, so I should try to make this work. I should give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm an experienced programmer. I should just finish the course because then I can improve it. I don't want to do a 1/10 of it or a 1/3 of it or half of it and go, oh yeah, I stopped. So I want to push myself to finish it. So I've got all this motivation to finish it and I still don't want to finish it. So how about someone who just doesn't have that motivation? All right, let's press it. So I've pressed it once. Is it going to stay on? All right, it stayed on. Now the moment of truth. So press it again, what happens? It's gone off. Now, it should never come back on, I believe. Yeah. Woohoo! Oh, mate. Brilliant. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, lovely jubbly. That's just 3 crappy lines of that, you know, just what, like, just, yeah. What's funny is that whoever wrote this can watch this video and look at my code and go, Hamed, you've done it all wrong. You've completely misunderstood. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm not surprised. Because this is so open to just, you know, interpretation. It seems to me like with all these sort of tasks, there's just no right and wrong answers. But, alright, anyways, I'm going to stop waffling now. I'll see you in the next video. We're doing some car interior lights, it looks like. That looks fun. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.